just give you the gist. So we woke up, okay, let's start way back. Last night, we were in the stands up above, like the really tall ones that me and Dad went to the one day when you went to the lower stand. And we saw a monster buck in the soybean field, like a monster, through binoculars. He was real far out going to the pond back in the field on Sanders or whoever that is, like a monster buck. So we were like, we're getting up extra early and we're going to make sure we get in early. So we got up earlier than usual and we were leaving the house by the time you would usually be getting in the shower. And we got there with 40 minutes till like sunrise. A little less than 40 maybe.
10 minutes till legal shooting.
Like 10 till legal shooting. So we were like on pretty good pace, but we needed to hurry. And then, so we got up there, and like when we were right back about to get to the stand, I realized I didn't put my harness on. So then me and Dad started whispering, and he kind of got mad. And then a buck, or probably a buck, down in the holler, down by Chen's, blew at us real hard. And so we scared a deer coming in, and we were like, basically thought we were screwed.
Still pitch black.
It was still dark outside. We couldn't see anything. And so I had to put Dad's big coverall harness things on because he made me. So then we got in the stands, and I was in the higher one. And how long do you think 20 minutes?
No.
It was like we were in the stand for literally like 10
or less.
10 or less minutes.
I was looking for a release.
And Dad couldn't even find his release yet. And next thing you know, like straight out and to the left of us, like behind all the trees in the cornfield area, all these deer went crazy. Something scared them, and I don't think it was us because it wasn't like a alarm, like trot off. It was
ran
like
towards us.
Yeah, they ran at us like something scared them real hard. So we don't know what that was. But next thing you know, from what I saw, I said deer, and Dad was like going crazy and everything. But from what I saw, there was like 3 does and either a spike or like a 4-pointer maybe that ran out into the soybean field. And then 2 bucks came right in, like if you're looking straight out, they came into view like by the soybean field and turned and went straight at us and hopped like over all the brush and just came flying down at us. Are you still there? Okay, so one buck, they were both pretty nice bucks. One came, it happened so fast, we weren't even ready. I mean, I had my bow in my lap, but I was kind of just sitting there because, I don't know, it happened. And the smaller, Dad says the first one was smaller, which it was definitely wider than the one I shot at, but we don't think it had as many points or was as massy or tall or like whatever. But it ran behind us and still into view. I probably could have turned around and shot it, but
definitely.
It was like, what, 20 yards?
Yeah, maybe.
20 yards away behind us, and it stopped. And then, like, we didn't even see the second one exactly yet. But right as about the first one passed us, the second one came trotting down through there, too. And he came down, and now at that time, Dad was like, I don't think he said get your bow ready. He's like, shoot him. So, even though I basically saying get ready, and he came down, like, directly under us, basically. But
you were still sitting down.
I was still sitting down. I hadn't even stood up yet. Because, I don't know, it just happened so fast. Like, 10 seconds, all this happened. And it came out, like, directly under us, but out in front of us. Like, like, if you were to walk, it was just like, out in front of us, basically. And it stopped. It was kind of still trotting. It had stopped going hard because the other buck had stopped. But it was, like, still moving. And Dad did a grunt, or not a grunt, but like a meh. And it stopped, and it was behind a sapling in front of us. You couldn't really see it. In fact, have you watched the video? Oh, well, Dad sent it to a group chat.
You never got it?
But anyway, if you watch the video, he's behind the sapling, basically covering them all up. But from my angle, I guess I could see him a little bit better than in the camera view from Dad, because I definitely saw, like, actual body, to where in the video you can only see, like, the rack, and then he goes bolting off. But Dad does the meh, and at that point, I'm not even drawn back yet. So I'm like, oh my God. So I literally, he's behind the sapling, and I knew Dad said, like, shoot it. So I just stood up and drew back instantly. Like, didn't even do it slow. I just stood up and drew back, put my top pin on him, because he was like 8 yards out. I mean, it was a hard angle, because it was kind of down. And he was facing us, but a little bit quartered away, like, so at least it wasn't straight at us. And it wasn't really a good angle at all. But I don't know, Dad did that's another thing, Dad. You did the math. So I was like, well, I gotta shoot it. And then, so I was like, we didn't even have time to, like, maybe let it go and let a little bit of a better angle. So I just, within Dad doing the grunt thing, 2 seconds later, like, I don't know, we can see in the video, but I just put my pin on it and I just shot. And I heard, like, leaves. So I was like, I could put $100 down. I missed. And he didn't even kick. He just bolted, like, hardcore. And he ran. What? No. So I was like, oh my God, I missed. I knew I was going to miss. And then he runs back about near where the other buck was. And the other one had gone down a little bit because he got scared. Next thing you know, Dad's like, you got him, you got him. And I turn around and the arrow's sticking out of him. It's stuck in him. And they both ran down a little bit and they stopped. And like you can see in the video, 10 seconds later, we were still talking about the other buck because I said I shot the smaller one. And then Dad's like, no, you shot the bigger one. So they were both still standing there. Well, the one I shot, he was gone. But the other one, he was still standing there, and then they both went away. But it stuck into him. And at first we were sure that was a good kill shot and he was gonna die. And we even heard like a crashing sound, so we thought he went down like right on our border of our property in Chin. But then we got down like quite a while later, like
2 hours.
2 hours later, we got down and we couldn't find any blood. So like not anywhere. So we walked 150, 200 yards all the way down to where Chin's property meets ours. And next thing, we were standing there for like 15 minutes and I'd given up. And Dad was just thinking maybe we could go up near our other camera and see if he went up there somewhere. And next thing you know, we turn around and like 6 feet from us is this big thing of blood. And that was a relief. So then we just kept tracking. And little bitty drops here and there, and we went all the way down through Chin's property and got to see like where all the deer go. And we even came out of the woods of Chin's. That's how far we went, into a big grass field by like the old house that's there. And it'd been kind of just little bitty things of blood and then some decent ones here and there. But right before we popped out of the woods, there was a really big puddle. There's a picture of it. It was a pretty decent thing of blood. And then we went out to the field, and next thing you know, we hear this crashing. We look up, and over in the woods to the left, the buck goes jumping away. So he had been bedded down there, probably because he's hurting after I shot him, and he was going to die, but we scared him, even though we waited a really long time. So as soon as we saw him go away, we turned around and just went, because he'll probably go like 100 yards and hopefully lay back down and die. So we're at Culver's, and Dad's going to do some job stuff and then probably go to the forestry and then come back at like 2, 3, 4 and see if we can find them dead. Yep. And Dad thinks we keep watching the video, it's really hard, which Dad didn't shake at all, but as soon as you can see the buck run for like 2 seconds and then Dad like goes crazy.
Well, I was trying to get you another arrow.
But what? Dad thinks he's 140s, about like your buck last year, maybe a little better just because he has more points, we think, and just seems a little bit more massy maybe, but he's a pretty good buck from what we can see.
Mm-hmm.
Is he more tall or wide?
He's wider. He's not as tall.
He's not really tall at all. Not at all.
He's not as tall.
He's got a normal like rack for like a buck tall wise. He's not like Dad's 8-pointer he shot 2 years ago where it was like just all tall straight up antlers. It's like a normal rounded rack, but he's pretty wide and decent height, and he's pretty massy.
Yeah, maybe a 10.
Maybe we're thinking maybe like a perfect 10 maybe. Yeah. When did you all go to the woods? Jacob said you saw does. Were they close or were they just like far away? And after, so like the 3 does and like the spike or small buck went off in the soybean field, and those 2 bucks came down. And then even after that, like 3 more does came from the soybean field.
5.
5. There was like a bunch of
I
does.
counted them.
Yeah, there was like 5 of them. They went along the soybean field and then slowly cut over and then went like right past our stands up on the hill.
And a big buck.
And a big buck that we saw.
Bigger.
Like big buck. Bigger than anything we saw. So if Dad had been in the top stand, he probably could have got a really nice buck. But I have a feeling if you were in the top stand, I wouldn't have got a deer, because I probably would have just sat there too scared to move, and then
I don't know. That second deer may have just gave you all kinds of perfect shots.
Yeah, but I'm glad he was. I mean, I wish he was quartered to me, but I'm so glad it was
being there may have screwed
top.
you up.
I'm glad it was a top pin shot, because if it was anything else, I wouldn't have known whether to use, what to do. But with that close, I knew just put my top pin on him, and I didn't have to think about it. So, yeah, you missed a lot, Isaac.